yesterday with the AFL-CIO.
I want to thank the AFL-CIO for all you've done to fight for jobs, to fight for tax cuts for the middle class, to fight for reforms that will rein in the special interests, and to fight for policies that aren't just going to rebuild this economy, but are actually going to put us on a long-term path of sustainable growth that is good for all Americans.
What planet have I landed on? Did I slip through a wormhole in the middle of the night and this looks like America? It's like the damn Planet of the Apes. Nothing makes sense. The guy who's helped destroy all of these pensions, Andy Stern, he's now on the Financial Oversight Committee. Is this who we want to take advice from? The unions, who have collapsed all of the businesses, who have collapsed all of their pensions. They're bankrupting everything they touch, and we go to them and we say, hey, tell me, what should we do? It's like getting marital tips from Tiger Woods. Hey, I got an idea. Let's appoint the guy who designed the Edsel and the Yugo to head up GM. This is how crazy it is. That actually might be an improvement. Let's get the inventor of Betamax to be our technology czar. Yeah. Hey, the guy who created smokeless cigarettes, he's our new EPA chief. We are turning to the epic failures of our time and hoping that they will fix it. How? I don't know if God is even powerful enough to help him fix it. America, you watch the headlines. When are your neighbors going to wake up? Our cities are now being forced into drastic measures and make cuts. And guess what's first up on the chopping block? The teachers, the cops, the firefighters. Well, of course, that's the first thing you cut. Why? Why? Well, progressives, they don't want to make any cuts. Why do you hate the children? Do you remember Cloward and Piven? Cloward and Piven, the 1960s dope-smoking hippie crowd that wanted to destroy America then. They think the best way to get their socialist utopia is to financially collapse the current system and then start all over again. Let's look at the cities. For anybody who think, oh, that's crazy. Let's look at the cities who are either threatening to cut or have already cut teachers, cops, and firefighters. Where are they? Show me the cities. Wow, what do they all have in common? Well, you got sniper attacks and riots in Oakland, California. It's the third worst rated crime city in the U.S. Hey, but then you have East St. Louis. There's a paradise for you. Crime index of 3. That means it's safer than only 3% of cities in the country, which means it's only slightly safer than Oakland. They just cut 19 officers and will have at times, but only the most dangerous night shifts, only 1 cop. Thugs practically shoot at the cops for sport in Philadelphia. It's so bad that the mayor had to ask citizens to help the police. You gotta be kidding me. Beautiful Newark, which especially around fall when the trees match the blood in the streets. Oh, they're celebrating now a whopping 43 whole days without a single murder. Well, congratulations. Don't get too cocky. Yeah, they're considering now, I mean, it's been 43 days since a murder, cutting 250 police officers. The cops have to go. The cops have to go. Really? In your wildest dreams, is that where you would start cutting? In Oakland, California, they keep $7 million for costs in museums. Let me tell you something, Oakland. You're going to lose the art in the riots. Newark, $39 million set aside for neighborhood and recreational services. Well, as much fun as I have sitting in the parks in Newark, I think you could probably cut back on the good time parks for a while before you slash the cops. Philadelphia, you can save a couple of cops right off the bat. Cut the $1 million set aside for mural arts. Mural arts? I don't know if you know this. Free market is great, baby. They do it for free. It's called graffiti. $32 million for a free library. Well, I got to tell you, I read probably twice as much as the average Joe. I love to read, but I have a hard time reading, or my kids would have a hard time reading with blood coming down their eyes. Baltimore, cops are on the chopping block. But for $750,000, you got to get rid of the cops. We got an opera house online. This is like your wife coming home and saying, honey, we're running out of money. We got to cut down on our expenses. But we got to stay healthy. We got to do something. We can't afford all of this food. You're right, honey. We got to cut the milk and the meat and the organics. We got to cut all that out. We're only going to buy Mountain Dew and Cheetos. Mountain Dew and Cheetos. How about we get the rich who never pay their fair share to buy their stupid, snotty opera house? Let me ask you, you're in a state, would you cut the opera house or the cops? You know why this is easy for you? You know why it's infuriating for you? Because you have common sense. Now, what does your gut tell you? That everybody involved in this is a moron? Or is there something else? Is there something else going on? They have put me in a place. And God bless them. God bless them. They have smeared me and people like me so hard, so long. I mean, Media Matters, I'll bet you by the end of the show, Media Matters has 4 stories out about me, all on Soros money. So the people who disagree with me, you ask your friends for specifics. What is it that Glenn Beck says? They can't. They can't, because they only read the smear, which stops them from looking at things like this that you know because you watch the show. Cloward and Piven, ask them. I sat with a senator one day about 2 weeks ago, and he said, hey, Glenn, I just heard about this Cloward and Piven. Blood started shooting out of my eyes. Really, Senator? Today you had that. Ow, whoa, I got to get that on the air a year ago. Cloward and Piven, you know about the Weather Underground and the revolutionaries that are all around this administration. Does that make sense? Does that make the opera house make a little more sense? You know that progressivism is a cancer to the republic. It goes against the Constitution. It is set to destroy the Constitution. That's the plan. And 3, civil unrest and emergencies, they work in favor of these revolutionaries. Well, is there anything that we've seen in today's news that make these work and explain the Cheetos over the cops and the teachers? Oh, yes. Yes, the pattern seems to make sense if you do your homework, and it sucks to be them because we do. We looked at the budgets of these crap hole cities. I'll show you what they should cut next. I really wasn't hacked off until I started talking to you tonight. I think it's you. Let me bring up the list of dirtbag cities we want to talk about again. Actually, like some of these cities, Baltimore is a great city. Chicago is one of the best cities in the country. Philadelphia could be better than Chicago, but they're all corrupt. I mean, it's just, Let's look at these cities. These are the cities that are cutting teachers off and cops, and they need help from the federal government. Let's just see how many of these economies are being collapsed by the Workers of the World Unite unions and their pensions. In Oakland, well, they laid off 80 cops right after